It's when somebody who isn't maybe as sensitive comes over and goes, "Oi, Brian, you're off the wrong bloody tee."
Is this not the whole problem with golf? That we're having here a 10-minute debate about somebody going off a tee. Like, that's what golf is. So dear Rick, sponsored by our best friends at Motor Caddy. We said last week, and we had loads of emails for dear Rick. So I'm going to pre-warn this one. It's not the best ever, which I do say sometimes, but we've got a lot. So if you've sent yours in, don't worry. Don't listen to this thinking, mine's better than that, because we've got another 8 weeks to get through.
And how can we vet them? Because you can't read every single one of them and vet them.
I try.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. While you're gallivanting at home, living the life in your Ferrari, I'm reading dear Rick's. But we've had loads, and some are really good. And as I said last time, I want to try and mix it up. This is a bit of an advicey one again. So again, well, they're always going to be advice, but this is a bit more something that I want you to think about. It's not too long. And if you want to have yours answered and read out and put into the prize draw for a Motor Caddy trolley, so first place in another 8 weeks' time is going to win a Motor Caddy. Second place is going to win a Motor Caddy bag. So all you've got to do, podcast@rickshiels.com, and write your dear Rick.
I'm not sure if your acting skills are going to be able to contend with last week's.
Well, I actually had one this week that I was really going to do and do that again, but I don't want to do the same joke twice. So maybe this week's a bit more of a serious one.
Last week, I watched it back and listened to it back. It was hilarious, that clip.
Thank you. So this week's is again. I'm going to call this guy's name. His name's Brian, and there's no reason I can see here at why he shouldn't be named. So
you've named him now,
Brian. So he says, "Dear Rick, let me preface this question with this fact: I'm not currently a golfer."
Okay,
interesting. I'm soon to be 34 years old, and I can count on one hand the number of times I've gone to a golf course with the intent to play a round of golf. I don't own any clubs, but I do have a golf bag, and it's filled with some random clubs that my girlfriend's dad let me borrow. So bits and bats, and they're still thrown in. I'm, however, looking at considering joining a local club and starting to play. So great email to receive from Brian. He's wanting to play golf. Obviously, he's chosen to listen to the best golf podcast around for hints, tips, and banter.
Bants.
Loads of banter. So my question is about an article I read a couple of days ago online, and I wanted to hear your thoughts on it. I don't think you've mentioned it on the podcast. Apologies if you've addressed this before. So he came in with the apologies as well. Really nice guy, Brian, isn't he, so far?
I've got a lot of time for him.
I have. Maybe too much time. But then, so it's not the biggest question, but I'm going to go in with it now. I wanted to know what your thoughts are about beginners playing from the forward tees. So, as I'm sure you know, being a fully grown man, the macho thing would say that I go off the back tees. However, I'm a total beginner and I can slice a driver shot, 3 fairways over. Would it benefit me to start by playing from the forward tees and working my way back up? This could be a one-word answer, dear Rick, and it could be the quickest one ever. But what do you think? Because I think there could be negatives and positives to it.
Let me get my head around this. I think the wording, first off, let me start on a few things. I think the wording of the front tees should be front tees. Mm-hmm. I still think a lot of people see them as the ladies' tees. Mm-hmm. Or potentially the junior tees. I'd see that as being a term that people use. Certainly the red tees here in the UK are perceived as the ladies' tees, right?
Yes, and I agree. It's definitely becoming a thing of people saying forward tees. However, I would worry about the reaction I would get at my golf club if I went off the forward tees. Would people say you shouldn't be off those? I'm not saying they would, but I don't know if they would say that.
I think people would say, what are you doing off those tees? Mm-hmm. They're the ladies' tees. And
even more so if you hit an iron and took a big divot out of them, because those are normally they use driver on a lot of the tees, like a par 4 tee. Not used, so. What's the benefits of Brian going off the forward tees?
Well, first off, the golf course is less challenging, so he can go out and play a par 4 where it might normally be 400 yards off the members tees. The men's tees is what they've been known as. It might even be 340 yards from the front tees. So there's a massive advantage there that you can actually play a much shorter golf course. It's almost taking a little bit of that fear. What I don't like about, and this is why I'm kind of trying to word my answer here very carefully, is Brian says he's not a golfer yet. But he can count on a number of hands how many times he's gone down to the golf club with the intention of playing golf, and something stopped him.
Is that what you're reading into it?
Yeah. Why? What? Like, He's not said he's played golf yet, has he? Like, what's stopping him from going out?
I don't know if that...
Is that
Yeah,
have I missed?
no, he does say, I'm soon to be 34 years old. I can count on one hand the number of times I've gone to a golf course with the intent to play around a golf. Maybe where he lives, the golf course might be somewhere he eats as well, possibly, or socialises. Maybe he means the amount of times he went to the golf club to play, not have lessons, or not have some...
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe you're right, but I don't know. Didn't leave enough information for that.
For me, I don't want to have any obstacles for golfers, non-golfers, soon-to-be golfers, to have any reservations about getting on the golf course. Ideally, it should be as easy as possible. Ideally. I know it's not always the case, because there's barriers, there's, sometimes people don't feel fully committed to go out and go and play on your own, brand new. You want somebody there to guide, you want somebody to give you a bit of advice. So let me answer this. Should he play off the front tees? I don't know. Because there are pros and cons. Because if he plays off the front tees, is then when he gets better and moves his way back, is he going to find that really hard? Or is it a nice little...
Yeah, but...
Is it a nice starting point for him?
You wouldn't go to the gym and everybody has to lift the same weight, would you? You wouldn't say you and a bodybuilder goes to the same gym, you have to use the same weight, but he's going to do more reps with it and you only might do one. You'd go on a light weight and then work your way up. I don't know if that's the worst analogy ever, but...
I don't know. Because again, I'm trying to think of him as well, of the backlash he may face from members of the golf club or the committee. Like, will people be more likely to shout across 3 fairways to him, "Oi, Brian, Big Bri, what are you doing off that tee?" Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that's a thing or whether people will just go, "Oh, it's fine." I'm struggling with an answer.
I was going to say we could do a role play again then, but I don't know if we're ready for that.
I'm just struggling for an answer.
Well, let's do it again. So I'll be Brian. You say, "Oh, Big Bri."
Hi, Big Bri. How you doing?
Oh, yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Are you going to play golf today?
Yeah.
Okay. Enjoy it.
Thanks, I will. Hit my shot.
Oh, Brian, just a quick one. I don't know if you know, but you're playing off the red tees, the front tees.
Oh, yeah, I am aware of that. It's just that I'm not very good at golf, and I find if I go off any tees further back, it makes it really difficult. I don't really enjoy it, so I thought if I go off the forward tees and make it a little bit easier for me, I'll enjoy it a little bit more and hopefully come back, probably join, put more money into the pot of the golf club. That'll therefore make the golf course better condition because I'll have more income. So it'll probably be better for everybody, really. You might buy some lessons in the pro shop, buy a new putter off the pro, so he's going to obviously make money from that. Might make some friends, and yeah.
You crack on, Big Bri.
Thanks.
6'5", and
and if you want to fight on me outside later,
I think though it's the wording of me on that situation.
It's the attitude that people would have towards him.
Like I said it in a nice way. Then, like, oh, well, by the way, Brian, just to let you know, you're playing off that tee, and the way you've then explained it and clarified it's fine. It's when somebody who isn't maybe as sensitive comes over and goes, "Oi, Brian, you're off the wrong bloody tee."
Is this not the whole problem with golf, that we're having here a 10-minute debate about somebody going off a tee? Like, that's what golf's like, and you're not wrong in saying that. People will have a moan at him.
I'm more worried about the reaction he's going to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
So, but
I
you're
don't
right.
want him to be put off.
No, but you're right. That's what will happen. It's maybe not his, I don't know, but some golf courses, I can guarantee, if a male went off the forward tee, the ladies' tee, the red tee, whatever you want to call it, and played golf, somebody would either say something to them or report them in and try and get them told off, which sounds like school. They would do it.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's the problem we have with golf, that people are too quick to do it. You don't have somebody could watch him, he could have a disability, he could, whatever reason, want to go off that tee. But also, as a junior, we used to play cross-country golf and go to different holes, but also sometimes go off the reds, the forward tees. It was class. Because par 5s become long par 4s. Par 4s become reachable par 4s, and actually can improve your game massively.
And it's not always weirdly easier, because ditches, hazards come into play when they might not do off another tee, or you might get much closer to the green or whatever it may be. And this would never happen. It's almost a bit like you'd want some level of and again, I'm sure Brian and non-golfers wouldn't like this, almost like a bit of a learner badge. That people go, "Oh, it's all right, he's learning."
Big blue hat.
Yeah, do you know what? It's like, it's all right. You know what? That guy over there is out. He's not new to golf. He's new to golf. Let him kind of find his way. You would on a car, like you wouldn't overtake a learner driver on the road.
Give him the
going
V's.
30. Yeah, because you're like, all right, I'm sensitive to that situation, and maybe that could do with being out on the golf course, but it's not going to happen, is it? Really?
Yeah, I think you should go for them. If you want to go for the forward tees, go for them. And if somebody stops you and has a word, just say, mate, get a life.
Just say the Rick Shiels Golf Show podcast said F off.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so
and anyway, Brian, soon you could be rocking a brand new motor caddy to really impress your new friends at the golf club.
that might look worse. It's like, mate, you've got all the gear, no idea. You've got a motor caddy, which is we all know is the best electric trolley in golf. You're waltzing down the fairway with no stress, no strain. You look so invigorated, so alive, so alert, so full of beans.
But that's where Brian also, with his new energy, has learnt to drive the ball 300 yards. So he can go, you know what, it doesn't matter. Put me off the Tiger tees. I'm playing that much better now because I've got my new trolley.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely sorted.
You hit the nail on the head there.
So guys, make sure you get your deer ricks in. Not too many.
You know what I've realised though? The answer to all these dear ricks is get a motor caddy.
It's simple.
It is. It really is that simple. Anyway, so we've got some Facebook questions.